Uh-oh. Ah, ah, ah. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You all know my co-host, Jordan. Hey, Jordan.
Adam, I know we don't like to talk about what days we record, but I'm a bit spooked.
I think I know where you're going with this, but carry on.
It's Friday the 13th. Oh, it's your scary ghost. He's always back.
Yeah, and you know what? I think... Wait a second. I thought we had locked the door, but we have a special guest in the studio. Oh,
I'll tell you one thing. If this is who I think it is, no locks can contain this man.
Yeah, dude. Okay, and he's standing in front of a mirror, and I don't see him in the mirror. Oh, man. All right. Hey, Drac, good to have you back. He wants to get on mic. Do you care if Drac says a couple things?
Hashtag Drac is back. Bring him on, man.
Okay, all right. I'm just going to... Creaking is the sound of him sitting down. He's kind of heavy.
Well, he's heavy and a little bit old, so his joints, they creak.
Hello, Jordan. It is good to be back on Home and Podcast. Drac in the saddle, as they say.
Drac in the saddle. I'm so glad to be hearing from you, Drac. I thought you might have just finally died. We hadn't heard from you in so long.
Did you think I died for real this time? I don't think so. Drac in the saddle shoes again, as they say. My favorite episode of Home Improvement.
Oh, do you remember what happened in that episode?
Someone was not in the saddle shoes anymore, then they got back. That was my favorite part.
All right, well, I thought the Halloween episodes would be your favorite.
Got to go, bye-bye. Oh,
Drac has always been one of those people, when you ask him a question he doesn't want to answer, he just bounces.
Cagey. You know what, I noticed, take care, Drac, drive safe. He drove here.
What kind of car does he drive?
I guess you would categorize it as the Dracmobile. I don't know how else to really say.
All right. Well, people can look that up online. I think there's pictures on Google. So
yeah. Make sure your safe search is off though. Drac, he sounded a little bit like Borat at the end of that. I don't know if he's watched that movie lately or something, but
he just kind of took on that persona.
Yeah, it was weird. But hey, good to have. Oh, it's always good to meet a fan. Is what I always say, and it was good to have him in here. And who knows, Halloween's right around the corner, so maybe he'll be back.
Yeah, I think we've got him on retainer, so he'll come back.
Yeah, he's definitely. We use him we use our Patreon dollars on Drac, and yeah, it's great. Friday the 13th, everything is scary. There's going to be like is it a micro moon or a something else?
I think you're making that up. I've never heard of a micro moon.
Moon's getting small tonight. Going to be scary.
It's going to be real small. That's kind of the opposite of scary, I think.
Jordan, you know what else is kind of scary? At the end of our last episode we recorded a couple weeks ago, you said that you wanted it to be like... It was like this. If we ever submit an episode for like an award, it should be this one. So this is going to be a letdown in comparison to that one, because you were pretty happy with how that turned out.
Well, how are you about it? I mean, what did you think after listening to it? I know that when I edit things, they sound amazing, but, did it meet your expectations after I said that?
It felt good when we were doing it, and then I listened to it, and it was even better. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I mean, you said unlistenable at one point, and I thought most listenable, so...
I think midway through most of our episodes, I think, oh god, this is unlistenable. But people seem to keep kind of listening. So
the same group of people, they stick with us, and we appreciate it because they're the people that motivate us at this point, because we can't motivate each other to keep going.
No, not really. I think we're far past that point. Jordan, we haven't recorded in a couple weeks, as I said. Things are good. All is well with you. You were in Michigan. You're safe. There was hurricane stuff down by you, but everything's okay on your end.
Yeah, no, we the hurricane stayed about 80 miles off the Florida coast, so we didn't get anything really. Okay. So we just had a slumber party with a friend who also has a little one. So so that was fun. We had a good time, and we're in Michigan for my parents' 40th anniversary, and that was, let me tell you, a humdinger.
Yeah, wow, 40 years, huh? Marriage. I hope you make it there.
I hope so too. That was my intention.
I'm not looking for it though.
Hey. Last time you said that, I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend. So be careful.
Hey, I'm a bit of a soothsayer when it comes to relationships. So.
Always have been. Always will be. You were in Michigan as well. Not the same time, particularly.
Yeah, I was in Michigan for your parents' 40th anniversary.
Yeah,
Beautiful
it was weird
party.
that you got invited after all the animosity between you and Lil Dauber.
I don't know why your mom made me serve everybody food and stuff. I didn't know I was acting as the caterer.
She gave you like this outfit to wear, a servant's outfit when you entered the door. You thought it was a costume party.
Yeah, and then I did the thing. I did the universal sign for money for dough in my hand, and she handed me a stick of gum like in Home Alone 2.
But you did chew the gum. You're pretty happy about that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Who doesn't love Wrigley?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't brush my teeth that morning, so yeah, it worked out okay. But still, I was in Michigan, Jordan. It feels like a while ago. I had a good time, and it's really all.
You're gonna leave it at that.
I can't remember a lot of it. It just feels like it was a while ago. But Jordan, it's fall. I'm going to riff on fall next week, probably. I like to do my annual riff on fall.
And you really like to lead up to it, too.
Yeah, I like to
build anticipation.
It's a fan favorite. And sometimes we don't build things up enough. Like, Drac just stopped in. We should have been talking about that in advance to kind of
3 episodes in advance.
Yeah, drum up some listenership. No, I'm going to riff on fall next week. But yeah, things are good. Lions did lose that game, or rather they tied, which is...
that's not a loss. Be careful.
Oh, I forgot. It just felt like one.
It definitely felt like one. It was so nice that the one Lions game I get to watch, because I was in Michigan, they tied. It made me feel good.
Yeah, well, how your hometown Bucks went ham last night.
Yeah, and they inadvertently destroyed me fantasy-wise, so it's been a tough go of it for them, but it was a surprise win. I didn't watch any of it though. So
okay, well, I guess we shouldn't talk about it. Anything home improvement related that you want to get off your chest here in the beginning?
I did tell you I found out at this 40th anniversary that 2 of my brothers are now into podcasts more. My one brother is doing a lot more driving with his new job. And listening to some stuff, but he's listening to like Tony Kornheiser, his new show, or not new show, I guess now, but his podcast and some others.
Yeah.
Not listening to the Home and Podcast though, so that was kind of heartbreaking. I
got to be honest. I think loved ones are perhaps the hardest ones to get to listen to your podcast. If I'm being honest, you'd have better luck with a random guy in like Cincinnati than your own brother. Yeah. I think you should have him on the show. That's the best way to get people to listen, is to interview them and then say like, "Hey, you want to hear it? You better listen." That's kind of what I've done.
If you remember, there was one time that my brother used to tweet things at us about getting a dog on the show or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I'm sad for you. I'm sad for you.
Sounds real. Yeah, I don't have much else to share. During that hurricane, somebody saw that I had the home improvement board game. Somebody named Jared, so I know who he is. And I said, we're not playing that. So
okay. And he said,
okay.
And then he did like a little dance or something. Did some flat old hat dancing.
He started to do some Soulja Boy.
Yeah, and then he taught your daughter how to crank that Soulja Boy.
She was asleep, so thank goodness.
He woke her up and did it. Home improvement related stuff? No. Nothing is coming to mind right off the bat, which means it probably isn't going to come to mind. Anytime I'm in Michigan, I'm apt to hear a Pure Michigan ad on the radio.
Sure,
and, that's always
I did see
pleasant.
Karn on his 50th floor commercial, so I guess that happened.
Okay, well that's something, right? Yeah.
I think those are the people who installed my carpets.
Oh yeah, I saw that too when I was in Michigan. That's weird, huh? Did Karn install your carpet?
I don't remember him being here.
Man,
I was here the whole time they did it too, so I think I would have noticed.
Okay, interesting. Well, hey Jordan, does the carpet match the drapes? All right. What are we covering this week?
We are covering episode 147, Insult to Injury. This one was written by Eric Horsehead.
Eric Horsehead. He also wrote The Godfather.
We do that joke every time he writes an episode.
I like it. It's my favorite.
The last time he wrote an episode was like 2 episodes ago, Communication Breakdown.
Okay.
They had Dom DeLuise's son.
Oh, yeah, definitely remember that. Yeah, good old Dom. Dom Jr.
Dom Jr. This one aired April 15th, 1997. I've got some trivia and notes here. I guess we'll get to them later on because they happen during the episode, so get excited for that. But alternative title time, I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
I have 5.
Oh, you always outdo me in this, so
yeah.
Go ahead, lead off.
Okay, sure. Oh, where to begin? All right, right down the middle here with shouldering the load.
Good one.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. How about Scary Gary?
Scary Gary.
Do you even remember who Gary is?
Is Gary the little boy?
Yeah.
Is he scary?
Oh, did you not see like the last scene?
Oh, at the end, I forgot.
That's the scariest thing I've seen in so long.
Jordan, this episode is so weird. Looking forward to talking about it. Next one. Okay. Ward of his home.
A ward of his home. Okay.
He wins an award. He's also,
Yep.
I don't know, he kind of falls out of favor. Yeah, whatever.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, this is a good one. I get it. Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks.
I'll follow that with perhaps my worst one. So, how about air show, no show?
All right, I got one very similar. Air show, more like air no.
You've used that repetition like 10 times. It's always good, though.
More like is kind of my favorite because, I don't know. It's like a whole brand in and of itself.
Yeah, it builds up, too. All right, how about Sweet Dream or A Beautiful Nightmare?
Yeah, I feel like you've used that one before.
No, never.
You promise?
I've used maybe Sweet Dreams Are Made of These.
Okay.
Eurythmics.
Hey, no fooling? All right, okay.
No fooling.
All right.
What kind of man do you think I am?
Hey, no fooling, okay? You said no fooling, no fooling. Breaking Bob.
Is Bob the doctor?
Bob Vila's record.
Oh, Bob Vila. Okay, I got it. All right. Last one for me. Black and Blue Angels.
Good one. All right. My last one. Enema of the State.
All right. That's good.
Thank you, Jordan.
Out of 9, I mean, we did pretty well that week.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Well, let's open up on the episode. What do you think?
Go ahead. By all means.
Well, we're praying at the table. Even the logo is praying at the table. Surprising because I don't think they've ever done this before.
I was surprised by this as well. I mean, like, I guess shows don't usually bring up religion, especially like 90s shows. They probably were told to steer clear of it. But yeah, we've never seen. I guess did they go to church?
They did go to that one church for that Christmas episode where Brad didn't want to go, maybe. Or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this was kind of a surprising thing for me. I don't know. Didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I did not see it coming. They are, they're saying grace, thanking God for food and time with family. And then, like, this is the whole joke here is that the kids want to jump right into TV. Mm-hmm. And Jill wants to have just a nice sit-down dinner and enjoy the company with the family. No TV, no phone, no texting, no, whatever.
Yeah.
But then Brad shares, it's the Bulls versus the Pistons tonight. And Tim basically gives up right away until Jill pulls him back. So, I don't know. I guess that's a joke. Something like that. What's going on with the kids? They're trying to do some, like, family updates as they go around the table. A lot of just, like, passing food around. Mm-hmm. Here's I don't think anyone ate anything, but they're just passing bowls of peas and potatoes and whatever else around. So I thought that was just kind of a funny thing to notice. Mm-hmm. We do learn that Mark is excited for the air show with Tim that he goes to every year. The Blue Angels will be there, and Jill is really just relishing this moment that they're actually acting like a real family. So I don't know. It sets up the episode, I guess.
It was good to see the Mark the Pilot thread come back.
It's back, all right. He loves planes.
Yeah, every 10 episodes we're reminded that Mark really loves planes. I liked Jill's line at the end about, like, look at us having a real conversation. Like it was just, I think that was kind of
like a family.
Yeah. It was kind of funny. Question for you. I don't remember if you said this. You did mention that they're going to see the Blue Angels, or no?
Yeah, okay. I did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are the Blue Angels like a national thing, or are they just known throughout Michigan? I honestly don't know.
I think they're a national thing.
Okay, all right, because growing up, they got a lot of play in Michigan. I've probably seen them. To be honest, it's just not the kind of thing I really care about. But People have talked about him a lot, but I didn't know if that was like a Midwest thing or not. But you think it's a national thing? Okay.
I thought it had to do with the military. I'm gonna look this up now.
You better look it up.
Yeah, it's the U.S. Navy. That's why I thought it was like a national thing.
Why are they spending so much time in Michigan then? Because I swear to God, growing up, they were in Michigan every weekend of the summer, in like weird places like Clio or something,
Perhaps there's different parts of the Navy where they're, flying these planes and they're in different states. I don't know. Maybe it's not just like the same 4 people who are the Blue Angels,
Okay, so it's like a rotating crew of angels.
Yeah, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. But I like this, though. A rotating crew of angels.
Every time a bell rings, a blue angel gets its wings. Is that what you're telling me? Okay.
Something like that. Adam, I want to ask, growing up, what was dinner like at your dinner table? Did you guys eat together? I mean, you were running around to maybe football practice or something?
Yeah, big-time jock like me.
Yeah.
Big jock, lifting weights and stuff. Well, here's the thing. I think when I was younger, when my sister was living with us, my sister's 10 years older, dinner was different then than when I got older and she was gone. So when we were younger, it would be like the 4 of us at the dinner table, TV off. I don't remember praying. I don't think we prayed. Basic kind of conversation. I don't know. Not super memorable. As I got older, we ate less at the table, more in front of the TV, more not together, probably as well. People are busy. I was running around.
And that's what's wrong with America.
It seemed okay with me, but, we eat at the table sometimes. But, a lot of stuff in front of the TV. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't remember a lot of dinners as I got older. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it was never. I don't think conversation was ever a real struggle. I think
that'd be funny if they was just poking and pulling things out of you.
It was just like me. It was just my mom and my dad and I. So it probably wasn't a lot to say, but
you tested your stand up and all that kind of stuff every night. See how it went.
A lot of bits. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I do remember being younger, we would try to all eat together, and as, I have 3 older brothers, as, they're involved in sports, everybody played basketball for the most part and was involved in other stuff too, so that became harder and harder. We did have a TV, I don't know if we always did, but we did have a little TV in the kitchen, so sometimes that would be on.
You guys had, 9 TVs in that house. I swear to God, every room has a TV.
Every room except for the bathrooms had TVs. Basement had 2.
Kind of awesome. I liked it.
Everywhere you went, you could turn on the Tigers and watch Verlander throw a no-hitter or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, what was on TV usually around that time was like PTI or something.
Yeah.
I watched PTI for many, 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 many years, this is twice that we've talked about Tony Kornheiser this episode. But
let's not make it a 3rd time, okay?
All right, yeah, 3rd time. So that kind of happened to us too as we got older. Things get a little bit busier. Now at the dinner table we're all there, but it's just me, my wife, and my very young daughter.
You also
she can't go anywhere.
You run a tight ship. I mean,
I do.
As I recall, eating dinner with you, you don't really let people talk unless you give them permission first.
Don't speak unless spoken to.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's kind of
the motto in our home. So yeah. Okay. That's how it works out. I got to crack the whip sometime.
Yeah, hey, don't I know? All right, that's the opening scene. Jordan, commercial spotlight. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
It's been a while.
I don't remember the commercial necessarily, but A-Rod has a commercial on Hulu, and it's like, I don't actually know what it's for, but he's like, I was an athlete, and then I was a businessman, and now I'm a dad, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but he says something here, and I've never heard anyone say this before, and I want to know if you agree with it or not. Okay. So A-Rod says that as a person, you are an average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. Agree or disagree?
Interesting. I mean, I think people definitely take on a lot of traits and personas and habits of the people around them. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't strike me as way off, I guess.
Okay. All right.
What do you think?
I think if A-Rod hadn't have said it, I probably would have put a lot more stock into it.
Well, I think at his time, he's had different 5 people around him, and that's maybe changed the way that he acts.
What is this, the 5 people you meet in heaven, Mitch Albom or something? No, I don't know. I don't actually care either way. I kind of thought it was funny that A-Rod was saying it. I wonder,
was it for like a Facebook Live show or something?
Dude, it wouldn't surprise me if it was for like Capital One or something. I don't know. It seemed like there was a budget, but do I agree with this? Yeah, sure, A-Rod, you're onto something here, I think. Yeah, why not?
So who are the 5 closest people to you? No, let's not go there.
That's too long. It's way too long.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I like Commercial Spotlight. We have forgotten about it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I only bring it up when I have something interesting to say about commercials. Like, obviously that was gold, so I had to bring it up.
Does Hulu play like the same commercial every break?
No, a wide range of crappy commercials.
That's good. It's good. It's great. All right. Well, next scene, we've got pre-show, and Al is catching up with Tim. And good news, there's been a call from the National Home Builder Society. Tim is going to be the new record holder for consecutive appearances on a Tool show. You know whose record he's breaking?
He's breaking Bob.
He's breaking Bob. His nemesis, Bob Vila, is going to go down, and Tim's going to go up. And Al says he's always believed in him. He can break anything, which was, I think, kind of a funny line.
Yeah, good
here.
line. Yeah.
It's a short scene. There's not much more to it than that, but Tim's excited. So
yeah, we cut to Tool time, and they're talking vices, and no, not
smoking,
actual
gambling.
Yeah, right, exactly right. Not even Miami Vice. Vice Tools, I suppose, which I don't really know what a vice is. Vice Grips. There it is.
Yep.
Okay. Tim Vice Tools. Talking tools.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a very heavy vice grip in the scene that we'll see later. But
yeah, Tim tells everyone off the bat that he won this award.
He just can't hold it in, He's excited.
I don't blame him. And Al and Heidi, they have a surprise for him.
This is nice.
And it's they sort of frame it. How would you say they frame it? They frame it like it's like a
game show,
kind of.
Yes. Yeah. There's some weird music choices in this episode. I don't know if you noticed.
There's a lot of weird things in this episode. One of them I'm going to talk about in a second. But like, all right, so Heidi, it's like basically like, what do we have for him? That kind of thing. And he's going to break the record by driving. He's doing like a driveway for a family on Wixom. He's going to asphalt their driveway. Tim is very excited. It's played like it's like a great honor, and he's kind of tearing up and stuff. It's kind of funny. One thing that was weird was, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but they're doing all the stuff, and they cut to a weird camera angle that I've like never seen before. It was like behind the audience, and there's like balloons coming up and stuff. It was very strange. It's kind of
confetti, and balloons start falling.
Yeah,
the crowd stands up and starts chanting Tim.
Yeah, it was weird. The Tim chanting was particularly strange. The scene ends. Tim is returning to the Vice talk. He lifts the Vice like it's a trophy, and he hurts his. Well, I thought it was his back, but we do find out it was his shoulder later on. So
yeah, it did look like his back, or maybe a groin. I did not expect a shoulder. I guess
it seemed like when they filmed that, he didn't necessarily know what was supposed to be hurt.
It's almost like when he fell, he actually got hurt instead of, actually lifting it up.
Possibility. But yeah.
Who knows? That's speculation, and we don't speculate on this podcast.
Never. Did you say that you had an interesting note to add at the end of this, or no?
Well, they talk about a steamroller, and it turns out there's not actually any steam going on anymore, but that's what they're still referred to. A roller that was powered by a steam engine was the original name. They haven't been used in the U.S. since the 1950s, at which time they were replaced with rollers with more efficient diesel engines.
Okay, and this is just off the top of your head? Or are you reading this from somewhere?
I'm kind of a steamroller aficionado, so... Always have been, always will be.
I forgot about that room in your basement that's just full of like steamroller memorabilia.
There's like
weird.
6 tiny steamrollers. And...
Weird that you wanted to get rid of the home improvement Matchbox cars I got you, but you're willing to have a room full of steamrollers.
I still have those.
All right. Well, hey, just making sure.
Just don't ask for a picture.
I was just gonna say I might want some proof, but okay.
They're somewhere in the various storage that we have not unpacked yet. But
okay. Well, why don't you do that this weekend? Okay. Thanks.
I might break them open. I bet you my daughter would like to play with them.
Yeah, I don't want to see those things in her mouth, though. I know how kids are with toys.
When we were in, we went up north, obviously, for the 40th anniversary, and my brother brought like a container full of old crap that he was going to try to get rid of, but it had some stuff for Justin and I in there, and he found these old like Shack Attack figurines, like
nice.
action figures. Yeah. So if we look those up online, how much do you think they're worth now?
Were they in the box or no?
In the box, mint condition, except for one. One had written on in pen in my brother's young handwriting, "Do not open."
Good
so
choice.
I think that probably ruined them.
Yeah. Per figurine, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks?
$20.
Okay. That's not bad. Not really worth selling, though, if you think about it.
No, they
cost
probably
of
were
shipping.
worth $20 when you bought them. So
Yeah, so hey, you know what? They're not depreciating in value. That's a good investment. Buy Shaq swag.
They're a buy and hold investment. There you go.
Yeah.
I did find, what else did I find? Nothing that was as cool as that. Some old journals and stuff. I have a lot of like 5th grade journals where I wrote about having asthma. So that was that was pretty good.
Dude, you should. I would love to get you to read some of those on air sometime.
There's some stuff in there about Box City and how awesome that was.
Box City and having asthma. Well, you know, when you're young, I guess it probably seemed like it was a big deal.
You know, it's Friday the 13th. I wrote some stuff in there about not being very excited about Halloween because I couldn't eat most of the candy as well.
Oh, that's sad.
Pretty sad.
That's a real bummer.
There was also this like weird painting. I'm sure everybody had to do like a picture of themselves and then stuff that they liked at the time.
Okay.
So like, there's a big picture of me with like glasses or whatever, and there's like a DVD box with Friends on it because I really like the TV show Friends.
Of course, yeah.
I think there was like "and one" somewhere.
Yeah, obviously.
I don't even remember. Oh, there was a CD that had Nappy Roots on it.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, they're like a pretty hardcore hip hop group. So
yeah, that sounds about right for a 10-year-old living in Davison.
So that was a good find as well. Some Pokemon stuff and whatnot, but those were really the highlights.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I must have been hard.
So hopefully, your parents can find some of your old stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig through it next time I'm home. Jordan, we cut to the doctor's office. We find out that
Doctor, give me the news.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now. And the news is a separated shoulder.
Ouch!
Ouch, bad. Here's the conflict, though. Tim, he needs to have the surgery immediately. If he does so, he can be out in time for Mark's Blue Angels thing on Sunday. Get a lot of days in this. It's like, we're very aware that it's Monday, Sunday, it's all very important.
It's all very important in this episode. Timing is everything.
Yeah, truly. Here's the problem, though. They're doing the show Saturday on location, and Tim needs to be there if he wants to break Bob Vila's record. So, man, it's a real conflict, and Tim doesn't know what to do.
He doesn't know what to do. He's also kind of like drugged out.
Yeah, true.
You may have gotten the days off, but I think you got the idea down. But yeah, the doctor. This is one of the first people who we've met on the show who doesn't know what tool time is, because it feels like everybody's seen all the episodes and they love it. Mostly Al.
Right.
But this doctor, who I'm sure you will bio in a little bit, because he's got quite a big role in this episode, knows all about Bob Vila and loves Bob Vila. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
for
I'll
Tim.
do his bio right now. The doctor, whose name is Dr. Nell. It's a weird name to choose. He's played by Marcelo Tubert or Tubert. 148. It could also be that, yes, Jordan. 148 credits to his name. He is recognizable, but I didn't have anything in particular. But here's the big ones. Jane the Virgin. Yeah, okay. What do you got? Go ahead, Jordan. Sure, get your piece in.
Well, I was going to guess. I feel like I recognize him from a Friends episode, but maybe not.
All right, you're going to have to give me a second to get down there.
Okay.
Jane the Virgin, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Hellsing Ultimate, and Star Trek The Next Generation. I think he might have been in a lot of Star Trek episodes. All right, let me scroll down here and see. Let me get to Friends.
Maybe not.
Okay, did you say Corey in the House or Friends? Oh, Corey, you said Corey in the House? Okay.
Yeah, I did say Corey in the House.
Okay, shoot.
That was also on my picture. I had a DVD picture of Corey in the House.
The West Wing. I've seen more Corey in the House than I would care to admit. ER. I mean, he did every 90s show. Charmed.
He's going to do every 90s show but Friends, probably.
Frasier. Dharma and Greg. Seinfeld.
Dharma and Greg was such a bad show.
Dharma and Greg is like the worst show that was ever on. I swear to God.
It was pretty awful.
Home Improvement. That's what we're covering, so that's not exciting.
Are you sure he was on that?
I got Friends and Home Improvement mixed up. I'm not seeing Friends. Friends started in like 94, right?
I don't remember exact year, but that's a bummer.
Yeah. He's good. I do like him in this. He's a very recognizable face who has gone on to do a lot of work.
I agree. Yeah, good job in this episode. Let's see, what else? That's the end of that scene, so they kind of move on to surgery time, because, like you said, they need to have it immediately.
Yeah, it has to happen now.
You know, Tim's doing the countdown, he's starting to go under, and he starts to have a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare, and... and either way, he doesn't want to wake up. It's the award, but the award goes to Bob. Is that what happens? The surgeon gives it to Bob instead because he can't make his.
Yeah, what I love about the Bob thing is they obviously couldn't get Bob Vila, so they just got like a real cheap knockoff, and they don't show his face, and they cut away so fast that it was just it was very obvious they could not get Vila for that 2-second clip. Which, hey, I get that Vila's time is valuable, but kind of makes you wonder why they needed to have that in there.
Well, it was a dream, so they could get away with it, I guess.
Dream logic is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just like Inception. Mm-hmm. All right, post-surgery, Doc is on the phone. He's talking to what we find out is a pretty nurse, and this is going to come back later. You might think this is just kind of a throwaway line, but Eric has some ideas, the writer of this episode. Tim pretends to flatline here. Yeah. And it gets the doctor's attention. Dr. Nell, I think you said. There was a note in IMDb, something about like how there was an error because he couldn't flatline because it was obvious that he didn't have any like things attached to him, but I don't think that's kind of the whole point. That's not really the point.
Yeah, it's just like it's
Tim's like making a joke to try to get him off the phone.
IMDb trivia is so or not trivia, but the goofs are just like, I mean, yeah. I don't think at any point they were trying to trick us and make us think that he was hooked up to an IV or anything. Yeah,
that wasn't the angle. But no. Tim does get the attention of the doctor anyway. He tries to say he feels great and he wants to get out. Obviously, after that dream, he knows he has to get to the set of Tool Time so he can get this award. He struggles a little bit. The doctor ends up leaving, I believe. Mm-hmm. And this is where some weird music comes on again and kind of an internal monologue where he's...
This episode is doing a lot of really strange things structurally. Like, yeah, we get... The dreams are weird, then we get the internal monologue, and then we get, like, short scenes with weird music. It's like a caper, but it's not a caper.
I was going to say, this sounds like Bond music or something. I don't know. It's very, very,
it was like
very strange.
Pink Panther-esque.
Pink Panther,
like,
yeah.
Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Yeah, like that kind of shit.
Because he's going to try to escape.
Yeah.
He wants to break the record and come back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go through what he's saying, but, he's really struggling to get dressed. But I did notice, he's struggling to put socks on, but he somehow got his shirt and jeans on, which has me questioning how that happened.
To be honest, I was glad that they just kept cutting ahead because things were going pretty slow. Like, I don't need to see him struggle with his shirt and pants for 4 minutes.
Yeah, he has to make a crank call to leave. Mm-hmm. And this is where that pretty nurse comes in handy because he got her name and he basically is trying to page the doctor to go see her. I don't remember what her name was, but
you got to give it to Tim. He's pretty astute to be able to remember that. I mean,
he came out of his days and he was sharp as a tack.
That is some good thinking. So yeah, it jumps around a lot. We're home and the family is getting ready to visit Tim at the hospital.
Isn't that sweet?
It's nice. For whatever reason, Jill decides to call first. Do you remember why?
I think she just wants to warn them that they're coming. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if they would take him down to the cafeteria to eat or what
I don't know.
The reason for this is, but yeah.
Well, actually, I do know the reason. Plot. Jill calls the hospital, but she's like, "Oh, you didn't answer." As if are there phones in hospital rooms that you can call directly?
I think there typically is.
Okay, I guess I've been fortunate enough to not spend a ton of time in the hospital. But she calls, he doesn't answer. She says, "Oh, he must be sleeping. We better go see him." So then we cut again.
But we're not at the hospital. No. Mm-mm. We're on location for Tool Time, and they are spreading the asphalt. No sign of Tim right now. Gary, a child. I don't know why he's getting so much...
Gets a lot of play.
He gets a lot of airtime here. He comes on and interrupts the show a little bit, but he's cute enough so they don't make too much of it. He's wondering where the tool man is, and, he's got a boo-boo. That's what Al tells Gary to try to put it in his language. And Gary's insulted because he says, what am I, 3? I don't know. I guess he's 5 or something.
Yeah, it's super funny child humor. Really good stuff.
Really good stuff. And we go back to the hospital. That's all we get right away of that.
Yeah, can I give you my Gary bio?
Please do. Scary Gary.
Scary Gary. Gary is played by Derek Wilder. And Jordan, he is about as old as we are. He was born in 1990.
Wow.
9 credits to his name. Last appeared in a TV series called Boober, where he played Mover Number 1. Other credits include ER, where he played Clayton. Simon Birch, where he played Junior Lamb. Got to watch Simon Birch again to find him. And, of course, Home Improvement, where he plays Gary Phelps. This was his first credit. Get this, though. He was thanked, they have, the thanks section. He was thanked in the credits of the Pat Morita Long Story Short documentary.
What?
Wonder why. Is he...
You think we can get... What was his name? Derek
Wilder. Do I think we could get Garrick? Garrick is what his friends call him. I'm trying to find out when this documentary was made. I'm not gonna.
I guess he must have been involved.
Was he some kind of a martial artist? Do I think we could get him? If we can't, Jordan, we're in real trouble. Oh wait, I think maybe he was into martial arts. Hey Jordan, guess how tall this guy ended up being? I can tell you. Give me a guess.
Well, no.
I have his official height. How tall did this kid grow up to be?
Well, now that you said it like that, I have a feeling that he's taller than we would have expected. So I'm going to say 6'3".
5'7". You were wrong.
Oh, you tricked me, man. He's taller. He's just barely taller than me.
Barely, yeah. You guys should be friends. You're both born around the same time, and you're both short. So what else is there? Yeah, he's okay. I don't know. I kind of hate kids like this in TV shows, but it's not his fault.
Yeah, this is definitely a trope that they do in all these sitcoms. So yeah, what is he
especially
supposed to
the
do?
90s ones where it's I look cute, but actually I'm kind of sinister.
Yeah, and so sinister that it's... man, we'll get to it.
We'll get there, man. We'll get there.
Wow. That is the one thing I took out of this episode. Back at the hospital, no sign of Tim. There's a joke here. Should we check the psych ward? And Jill says it's the first place I checked. Ha ha ha. Jill puts it all together. He has gone to tool time, and she turns on the TV because we get this thing again.
This is crazy. Would they just decide what you're going to do, Home Improvement?
Is it live or is it not live?
Yeah, I know. It's just it really, they change it every episode depending on what they need, but it's live this time for whatever reason.
They only go live on location, maybe.
That makes even less sense because it's harder to... Jordan, don't even get me started, okay?
Don't even get you started. Tim arrives on the show in a cab. The crew celebrates. There's clapping, which is kind of awkward. It's kind of funny, but they're all excited that he's going to break the record. Tim has a special message for Bob, and it's the same message that I'm going to give to you. I don't know if you're ready for it.
Okay, go ahead.
Nanner, nanner, nanner.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
How's that feel?
Classic. Tim, yeah, don't ever do that again, okay?
All right. Tim hops on the steamroller. There's a lot of panning back and forth here between the live show and the hospital room where things are they're just cringing. Al thinks this is a bad idea. Everyone probably thinks this is a bad idea because nobody's stupid. And Tim kind of lays down the law. He says, I'm in charge. Where's Bud when you need him, Bud Harper could have taken the reins on the situation.
Where is Bud? I haven't seen Bud in forever.
He's sad. He said, he got divorced, so...
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Tim pretends to lose control, but he didn't. So he, what we thought would happen didn't happen yet. He didn't break anything until he backs up and he runs over Gary's remote control car. Mm-hmm. A lot of tears, a lot of whining. I think Gary does a good job here of crying, I guess. Calls him a big stupid head. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden we see a tall shadow come up behind Tim. And it's Gary's dad. And he's pretty big and he's pretty angry.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tim has a legal case here because on air he's recorded to be assaulted here.
Yeah, maybe Tim doesn't have to pay that second surgery cost.
I would say so. He gets thrown in a circle. A lot of really cool camera shots there. You talked about the one initially on Tool Time. This
is pretty good.
This is a point of view of Gary's father.
Well, hey, Jordan, bio for Gary's father. Gary's father is played by Chet Nichols. 7 credits to his name. Last appeared in something called The Lake House, where he was an uncredited party host. He was a guard in Good Burger as well. So
aren't we all, though?
And he was in Payback and The Untouchables, which is a good movie. So Gary's dad, I might have been the best part of the episode.
I mean, at least that camera
Guess
work
how tall Gary's dad ended up being.
I think about as tall as he is in this episode.
All right. This episode is structured really strangely because you would think like that would be the end, but actually we haven't even gotten to the main conflict yet.
I was going to say there's like a good half of the episode left.
I know. All right. We're at the hospital. He has to have another shoulder surgery. Now that, he made this decision to go out and seek the fame and fortune and the record, and in doing so, he has to get another surgery, and thus Mark can't attend the Blue Angels. So basically, the episode wants you to think that Tim did something really selfish and made a bad choice. Whether or not I agree with that, I don't know.
I mean, I could agree with it, but they don't really set it up at all.
No, Mark is mad. And he conveys that throughout the scene in a variety of very complex ways. He's
tasteful,
mad.
I would say.
Tasteful, yeah. I mean, he made some kind of subtle acting choices throughout the scene to convey his anger, and
is this where he got his Emmy nod?
Yeah, well, I think this is when he won the Best Actor Oscar, the Pulitzer, and the Emmy, all for this scene. And a lot of those things you can't even really get for TV, so yeah, it was that
pretty
special.
Impressive.
Yeah. Scene ends where Tim has to get an enema, but it's a joke, so he doesn't really have to get one. So I'm gonna let you take the next scene because it's crazy.
Well, it is crazy, but before we move on, Jill is in this last scene too, and she lays into Tim. Like, she's very, very, very disappointed.
Everybody's busting Tim's chops in this one, and I'm thinking like, I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know, be cool.
Tim, the one thing I don't like about this last scene is Tim takes like no responsibility for his actions. He's like trying to blame it off on voices in his head and stuff.
Yeah, I guess if he would have just said sorry, maybe we could have gotten... but then we wouldn't have gotten all these great...
we wouldn't have gotten Scary Gary.
These dream sequences in Scary Gary. I kind of don't really blame Tim that much, but I guess also he was dumb to not just... path the least resistance, just say you're sorry. Also, call him... I don't want to spoil it, but he has a major favor to call in at the end of the episode. Couldn't he have thought of that faster? I don't know.
It was the drugs, man.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, you're right. Go ahead,
surgery
Jordan.
time, second surgery time, and I mean, it surprises me, but we're going to have to play a clip because Wilson's going to get involved.
This is a really good Wilson appearance, so go enjoy this.
Well, hi-ho, good patient.
Hi, Wilson. I didn't know you were a surgeon.
Well, I'm not. Usually I'm a volunteer down at the gift shop, but today they're letting me cut. So, what are we working on today? Gallbladder circumcision?
Oh, no, it's a shoulder. I got a shoulder problem. Probably gonna use a new brain, though, today.
A brain transplant? Oh, boy, that sounds like fun.
I was supposed to take Mark to the air show tomorrow. I really disappointed him. Thinking about myself. Selfish me. I'm always thinking about myself.
And that is exactly who you should be thinking about. Look out for number one, I always say.
You never say that.
I've never done brain surgery either.
Wait a minute. This is a dream. That's what this is. Silly me. But what am I going to do about Mark?
Well, I don't know, but you better figure out something quick, because by the time I'm done, odds are you're not going to know who Mark is. Oh, Tim, relax. It isn't like it's brain surgery. Wait a second. It is.
Tim is now dreaming dreams of something quite different than his first surgery, and it's Wilson as the doctor. I thought this was kind of a clever use of Wilson initially,
But I'm going to go ahead and heartily disagree with you there, pal.
Well, I thought it was clever, and then like the rest of the scene played out. I was like, oh, Wilson's going to come and talk sense into him. This is kind of interesting. Okay. A way to get him in there that was different. But then they go a complete curveball and put Wilson as a mad scientist. And,
yeah, you didn't like that? That wasn't good?
I don't know. Wilson,
little big for you?
A little big for me. This is like Derek Wilder height big for me. I'm a little scared.
Yeah, I thought it was bad from the start, but I guess I get why they are doing it because they have to have Wilson in here somewhere. But yeah, it gets very cartoony very quickly. It's just like a ton of maniacal laughing. Yeah, so not great.
This is probably Earl's least favorite appearance in Home Improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak on behalf of Earl, but it was one of my least favorites.
So yeah, he doesn't have much advice. He's just going to give Tim a lobotomy of some sort. So we get a lot of, like you said, maniacal laughing, strange things. No resolution, really, for Tim. And we move on to the Taylor home.
Yeah, we do.
You want to take this scene?
Yeah. Knock at the door. Haven't done that in a while.
Who's there?
That is the soundboard that I purchased. Wow, Tim called in his favor, and one of the Blue Angels are at the door.
Is it one? I guess this guy was out of rotation, right? By your logic.
Yeah, he's out of rotation. He's on like sabbatical from being a Blue Angel. I'm tired of doing bios, but I will say that this guy is an actor and not a Blue Angel. I kind of thought he might have been an actual Blue Angel, but he wasn't. So.
Well, he did a pretty good job, I guess, if he was a Blue Angel. Well, so that makes sense.
It is his job to be good at convincing people of things such as that.
Just be careful, because we've insulted people who weren't actors before who are acting, and we got in trouble. So.
Yeah, you're right about that. I guess. Hey, it's 2019. You got to be careful what you say. No. Blue Angel. Tim calls in a favor. The Blue Angels are going to have Mark as their guest. In the same way that Mark earlier was able to convey his anger, in this scene he conveys great excitement.
Joy.
Very, very happy, overjoyed. And they're going to let him ride there in his tank or Jeep or something.
Question mark? I think it's probably just a Jeep. Yeah, he's going to pick him up, this Blue Angel.
Why is Mark so excited to ride a Jeep?
I think he's just excited to see like someone he would probably consider a hero. I don't know.
Mark needs a hero. Mark needs a hero to the end. Mark calls Tim to thank him, but he doesn't actually, like, I don't know. I felt like Mark should have said he was sorry to his dad. I guess I just did not align with the episodes.
Why would he say he's sorry?
Because he was being I don't know. He like overreacted. I felt like Mark did.
He's a teenage boy, and this is like the only thing.
Grow up.
This is the only thing he gets excited about. This is episodes like this. If it wouldn't have been resolved, I would have said this is the point where Mark goes emo right here. This kind of disappointment.
Instead, he gets something even better than what he planned on. Tim is on the phone talking to Mark. And he's so excited by the fact that Mark gets to ride in the Jeep, he starts to kind of think about sneaking out. And
I thought he was a little jealous of the Jeep.
I think he just wanted to go with him. I don't know.
This probably means a second rewatch for us.
There is no chance that I'm watching this episode again. Tim tries to sneak out. There is a bodyguard there who watches him, and Tim says, nope, was just adjusting it. And then we cut to a final scene. Jordan, go ahead and take this one.
I really didn't line up the scenes.
I almost turned it off. Sometimes I don't watch the final scene because they're usually bloopers. I was glad I stuck around for this one.
Were you?
I mean, it's pretty wild.
Well, I guess we should describe it. Later in Tim's room, he's dreaming again. I guess
Tim just won't stop dreaming.
Dreaming again. Wilson is working at surgery again, and Jill is there this time. She is wearing, it looks like a Halloween nurse outfit, I would say. Not like a real nurse outfit.
It's supposed to be sexy.
It is. Yeah. That's what I meant by that. And then she breaks out a chainsaw because she's going to be doing some of the surgery as well. This has got to be medical malpractice. But then we find out that, Jill's not going to be doing it. Wilson's not going to be doing it. Gary jumps up from the bottom of the table, and he's going to be doing the surgery. So Tim's in a world of hurt.
And Gary is, he's got his full doctor's scrubs on and stuff. And in his roll credits fade to black. Really bizarre ending to a pretty bizarre episode that is entitled Insult to Injury. Before we get into highs and lows, How much of the new Twilight Zone did you watch? Did you get to the episode where the kid is the president?
No, unfortunately, I did not.
Okay. Well, you should watch it, or I don't care if you watch it. But the ending to that episode is almost exactly like the ending to this episode of Home Improvement, in that there is a doctor about to perform surgery on like an adult, and they pan the camera down, and it's like a child doctor that is dressed the exact same way. It's like an eerily similar ending. It's really bizarre. So
you're saying that Jordan Peele loves Home Improvement?
So I'm saying that Jordan Peele stole something from Tim Allen. Let's get this going on Twitter. It was just weird that that's the exact same ending. Jordan, highs and lows, insult to injury. What do you think of this one?
I don't know what to think of this one, honestly. It's definitely, we've talked about some episodes that are like so boring or just not interesting that they're forgettable. Mm-hmm. As much as I would like to forget this episode, I don't think I'm going to be able to, just because how zany and strange it is. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we've talked about Gary. So I guess I should say I don't really like this episode. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's very good or very funny or any of those things. I think they kind of spring the whole... I think, like you said, it seems like the episode's over, but then you look at the clock and it's like, oh crap, there's still 10 more minutes left in this 22-minute episode. Yeah. So they go in and they do the second half of the episode where Tim has really let his son down, which I think that's fine. I understand why they did that. It just wasn't set up very well at the start of the episode. So it seems kind of like a surprise. So, and I like Tim calling in the favor and whatnot and not getting, Mark excited. It's just all the other things that are around that and leading up to that. I just don't think they're planned very well. I also, I like the idea of Tim trying to break this record or whatnot. Mm-hmm. I like that too. I just don't know that it's executed well. So, yeah. I mean, highs, I guess ironically, Mark being really angry is funny to me.
Why ironic? I thought it was just good.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of it's rough. It's rough for Mark in that episode. I don't know. Else? What are the highs here?
All right.
What are the? If I have to ask, I guess it's not good.
Yeah, I would say. Are you finished, or do you have more to say?
I guess I like the Doctor in this episode. That would be a high. Okay. I think he's pretty good. Okay. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a good episode. My question that I kind of wonder is this the strangest episode that we've ever had? Like, this is a really weird episode. They do some weird stuff. Like, they got all the dream stuff, which is bizarre. You got the kid at the end. You have, like, the voiceover stuff, like the caper music. There's, like, 7 big ideas. This has got to be one of the weirder episodes we've ever covered.
I'm trying to think of, like, every time they do something very, very different, like with this episode. And then, remember when they got shrunk so small they could go into a car?
That was weird, but it was also only like a scene.
Yes. And then there's the episode
where... The claymation thing is weird.
The claymation is weird. And then they do the one where they're like old. And they do all those flashbacks and stuff. Go forward in time.
That sucked, but I'm not sure it was that weird. This stuff was all just like weird.
Yeah, it was very strange. It was like Eric, he probably took some of those pills that Tim was taking at the hospital and then just started to write an episode, and this is what came out.
But then also kind of got like a little aroused and was like, I got to get some sexy nurses in here at the end.
Just barely, though. Just barely aroused.
Yeah, just like a little bit. Just enough to want to do it at the end. Highs and lows. I mean, highs. I like the Doctor, and I liked when the Blue Angel came, sure. Lows, I mean, this episode... has like a million ideas. It's like, okay, Tim is going to win an award. Uh-oh, Tim has to have surgery. Tim's going to have weird dreams. Tim and Mark are going to go see the Blue Angel. Like, there's just like, one of those things would be a fine topic for an episode, but instead they try to do 4 or 5 different things. Nothing is given enough time. Everything, it's very choppy too. Like, there's just like weird scenes that are just like cut together. It's strange. I don't know. I didn't like, and like Tim the stuff with like Tim and Mark, I've gone on record as saying like, I don't know, I just didn't really buy that a ton. Maybe it was because it wasn't set up enough. So highs, the Doctor. Lows, I mean, I didn't really like the dream stuff. I also don't really like dream, I don't know. I feel like depictions of dreams are not generally
It's really tough to do.
Yeah, I think it's tough to do, and I never really buy it. And I know it's just sort of subjective, but I don't know, it didn't work for me. The stuff with the kid and the dad in the front yard and the kid. Like, it was very cartoonish. There were some good lines in this episode. I'm having trouble even really talking about it because it's just like so many different things that go in different directions. But this is a weird episode. This is not a good episode. But I guess I'll say it's a memorable episode. So, I
would agree. So our advice for Eric is less is more, maybe.
I mean, do what you're gonna do, Eric. You know, yeah, sure.
You
less
do
is more.
you.
Yeah, you do you.
All right. Well, let's move on to Sean's social media corner. If you'd like to reach out to us, go to Facebook and Twitter, YouTube, patreon.com/HomeandPodcast. Leave us a review on iTunes. All those things. You know how to reach out to us. Our website's thehomeandpodcast.com. With that, I do have a comment on Facebook from Lil Dauber, which I know you're sad about, but I think you'll be pretty interested in this comment.
Okay, let's hear it.
Ready? Well, the first thing, this is a minor note, but she was horrified to hear about railroad jumping. Didn't expect it.
Railroad jumping?
Yeah, remember we talked about going over the railroad tracks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, hey, you know, I don't know what to tell her. She turned a blind eye to a lot of things, I guess.
Luckily, I was never in any of those cars that I can remember. So, all right. The most important part of this comment is an update on the Bernstein family.
Okay. You know, that's funny. I saw a billboard when I was in Michigan as well, and I should have brought that up at the beginning. But yeah, go ahead.
Well,
go ahead,
it's coming now.
Yeah.
They still have many TV commercials. I didn't see any when I was there, but they still have them. It's the dad and the daughter and the one son. The vision-impaired son has become a judge, and in a recent news article, she read how much extra time and research he has to do to keep up on cases due to his impairment. So there you go.
Okay. All right.
He left the practice.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, man, there's a lot of things to say, but I guess we should just move past it.
Okay.
All right. So, Jordan, Twitter. I have a lot of polls that I've done the last couple weeks, I guess. I've been in kind of a poll mood, so I'm just going to run through these, okay? All right. First poll. Is Tim a good father? 27 total votes. 96% said yes. 4% no. So that's a resounding yes. I would agree.
I would like to hear the why of no.
Probably just some troll.
Get out of here, trolls.
Polapalooza continues. Jordan, who wins a fight between the four? And the options are Tim, Al, Wilson, and Harry. So who wins a fight?
I can tell you who doesn't win.
I'll tell you. Okay, Harry came in last place with 21%.
That's wrong.
Harry wins the fight, right?
He's either I think he possibly because he just kind of goes crazy. I think.
All right. 24% said Wilson. 28% said Tim. 28% said Al. So Tim and Al tied. The correct order is Harry first, Al second,
I say Tim
third,
second.
Wilson fourth. Al was in the military.
I know, but he's a gentle giant.
Okay, what's your order?
Wilson last, Al, Tim, but I don't think much separates Al and Tim necessarily. Okay. I think Harry wins. I think Harry he's got a dark side to him.
Scares me. Polapalooza continues. Okay, of these four, who could eat the most chicken wings? Options are Brad, Al, Harry, Benny. All right, 0% said Harry could eat the most chicken wings? Like, come
that's
on.
wrong.
Yeah. 12% said Al, 12% said Brad, 76% said Benny. The correct order is Benny first,
Harry,
Brad second, Harry third, Al fourth. Brad is a teenager. You know how many chicken wings teenagers can eat? What's your order?
But he's trying to stay in shape for soccer.
Yeah, it just means he can burn them off easier. What's your order?
Okay. I say Benny, Harry, Al, Brad.
All right. Interesting. Polapalooza continues. Did you get your driver's license when you turned 16? 25 total votes. 48% no, 52% yes. Man, that must be a Midwest thing, because that's about 50-50, and I would have thought it would have been a lot more in favor of yes.
Wow. Maybe internationally it's a little bit different.
Yeah, we did get one person that said that they're from Germany and they can't drive until they're 18. So
okay, well, maybe that has something to do with it.
Polapalooza continues. Is Mr. Ed, the horse show, good? 13 total votes.
What are you doing?
We talked about Mr. Ed in our last episode.
I know, but you went ham.
Hey, man, content is content. 13 total votes. Also, that's a pretty good amount of votes for the poll that was asked.
It was an easy yes or no question, so.
46% said yes, 54% said no. All right.
Wow, a real dividing line right there.
The last poll. Jordan, should billionaires build their own fucking stadiums?
100% yes.
14 votes. 21% no, 79% yes. Some people think billionaires shouldn't build their own frickin' stadiums. That's nuts.
Maybe they don't want any stadiums at all.
That wasn't an option. So that's Twitter. Follow us for a lot of polls, I guess. I don't know what's going on. I didn't really notice I'd done that until today, and I was like, God, I gotta go through like 7 polls.
Wow, that was it? That's all the polls you had, huh?
That was a lot. That was a ton.
I thought it was Pull-A-Palooza. I thought we'd be going for hours.
I can't. Expect more like the chicken wing polls, though. I kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like those hypotheticals. Those are good.
And Jordan, we do have a piece of mail, so I guess we should rip open the mailbag.
You've got mail.
2 questions here, kind of both the same thing, from @AnthonyHefner4. First, I'm just gonna ask them both together. So, are you guys gonna do any more interviews with the cast? If so, who can we expect on? And then part 2, will Tim Allen be interviewed? And if so, please talk about Last Man Standing.
Wow.
So the first question, are we going to do more interviews with the cast? And if so, who can we expect on? The easy answer is hopefully. I'm always trying to get cast members on the show. I think thus far we've been pretty successful, but there are obviously some big fishes out there that we've yet to talk to. So if, who could you expect? Obviously, like, Tim is kind of the white whale. I would not say you could ever expect Tim to come on the show. If he did, that would be sort of like the ultimate. If we did have him on, we would talk about Last Man Standing, but probably briefly because neither one of us.
It's mostly Home Improvement.
Yeah, we're Home Improvement fans, and not it's worth talking about Last Man Standing, but that's not really our Tim Allen touchstone. Who else could you expect? I mean, hard to say. I always.
You've reached out to a lot of people already.
Yeah,
so.
and multiple times. So it's a lot of it is it's a kind of a waiting game, and it also sometimes becomes a bit of a pestering game. But you have to do so sort of tactfully. So I would say Zachary Ty Bryan is. I feel like that should be easier than it has been. I think that's one that eventually we're going to make work. I don't have any firm backing on that, but I just feel like he's still kind of out there in the consciousness, and I'm hoping eventually we can make that happen. Tara Noah Smith, that seems like it'd be very hard.
I would say JTT and Tara Noah Smith probably never happen.
Probably never happen. Zachary Ty Bryan we're hoping for. Otherwise, anything can happen, and maybe there'll be some side characters we can get in.
Or writers or stuff like we've done before.
Or directors as well, yeah. So I would expect, we've got about a year or so left of this. I would expect to hopefully have a couple more interviews for you, but nothing is guaranteed, but we're always doing our best, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep tweeting at these people and tell them to come on Home and Podcast. So
yeah, that's definitely
that's the best thing that you guys can do to support us in this in this venture. So yeah, that would be my goal as well. But you do all the heavy lifting with the interviews. That's kind of your baby. Which kudos to you. You've done a really good job so far.
Thanks, Jordan. Don't say anything else nice about me because it makes me uncomfortable. All
right, you jerk.
All right, that's better. Yeah, say it again. What do we get? What else we got here? Anything else?
No, I think that's it, Adam. I think we're done for today.
All right, what are we covering next week, Jordan?
Next week, we are covering Family Unties.
Oh, man, I little
Seems
worried about
dangerous.
What's going to happen there. Yeah, it sounds a little treacherous. Well, I look forward to talking about that. Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening, and I guess I should say take care.
Take care, everybody.